If you've tried every diet, every workout, every new trick, and nothing's worked, I have been there. I failed for years before figuring out what actually helps you lose weight and keep it off. And this exact video is how I lost my first 50 pounds. So if you have a lot of weight to lose, this video is really gonna help you. So number one is I actually stopped focusing on eating healthy. Let me explain, because I know that sounds a little weird. Once I gave myself permission to eat cheesy, high volume, high protein meals, the binge urges stopped. I wasn't just eating better and feeling better, I was enjoying it. So for me, I focused on high protein, filling meals instead of things like vegetables and fruit. Now, I still have vegetables and fruit. A lot of times those are in the meals themselves, but the focus was on a lot of volume. So for instance, in my cookbook, if you don't already have it, link in the description, it's totally free. And I think you're going to love it. There is a high protein macaroni and cheese. There's also a white chicken chili. Both of those, in the white chicken chili, there is some vegetables, but in the high protein mac and cheese, there's none. But the focus was on eating a lot of food that would make me feel full and losing the body fat. In my opinion, volume eating is much more important than clean eating. You can always clean it up later. You're going to be a lot healthier if you lose the fat. Now, if you love fruits and vegetables, I'm not saying not to eat those. You can have a multivitamin. You can have things like that. You can have your fruits and vegetables. I'm not saying not to do that, okay? But I'm just saying in the meantime, just making sure that you're happy with your diet might be the most important thing. For me, it was lots of cheese, sauces, and bold flavors, things like seasonings. The sauces, yes, would be lower calorie. The G Hughes is a popular one that I go to a lot, and they're kind of, on the expensive side for sauces, but it just saved me so many calories. I used recipes that I was actually excited to eat, and I put a lot of those in my cookbook, and there's a lot more that I need to add to that. My main goal was to make meals feel satisfying, not restricting. And so by the end of the meal, you're like, I cannot believe that is in my diet. It is fantastic. A lot of the foods that I eat now, and I don't have a lot of these in the recipe book because, it's just a sandwich, not really a recipe. But I will actually take in the panini maker, a sandwich with 2 slices of low-fat cheese and some good deli meat or something, and I'll press that into a sandwich, and it's just amazing. And I'm basically eating a grilled cheese, just in the way I make it. It tastes almost just as good, but has so few calories. So the second thing that I did to lose the first 50 pounds was make a non-negotiable list. I'll tell you a story real quick. One of my clients just did not believe in routines. They wanted the freedom to do kind of whatever came their way. Go with the flow, if you will. She was really struggling at first, and I finally convinced her, hey, let's just try this. So we set 3 non-negotiables, just 3 things. She dropped 20 pounds in 8 weeks without changing much of anything besides those 3 things. She just focused on those. I'm pretty sure for her it was steps, food logging, or maybe it was intermittent fasting, something to control her calories, and then taking her weight. And that was it. Now I can tell you for sure what mine are, and that is a daily step goal. No matter what, I have to hit that. For me, it's 14,000. That's because I'm at the gym a lot, training clients. I train people online, but I also train people at a gym. So I'm walking around a lot. For you, it doesn't matter. Don't let that defeat you. If you're like 14,000, I can't get that. Don't worry about that. If you're normally at 5, if you go to 7,500, that gap right there, assuming you don't accidentally eat it, which comes back to the food logging and everything, making sure your diet's in check. But if you don't accidentally eat those 2,500 steps back in food, you're going to lose weight. For me, again, it was 1 workout per day, whether short or long. I'm not saying you should work out every day, but for me, it helps so much, whether that's just even a walk, but usually it'd be something that I would deem a workout, not just steps. So I have an exercise bike downstairs, even if it's just 5 minutes, something every single day that was an actual workout. I also had to log calories. There was no skipping days. Even if I had to guess on whatever it was, if we were going out to eat, or if it was something that just didn't have a label that I could scan or look to, I had to log it. Even if it was a guess, just log it. It helped me mentally so much. I didn't always limit food. I just had to track it. Some days I think it's okay, and I tell my clients this. It might be a high calorie day. You might need 3,000 calories that day, and you might be breaking even or even gaining just a little bit of body fat. But if that day is extra hard, then why not let yourself, instead of binging or going, down the spiral, let yourself have those calories, and then make the very next day, you're going to be in a positive place again. Like you're going to be, let's say you overate by 200 calories on Monday, and on Tuesday, you're in a 500 calorie deficit. Between those 2 days, you're in a 300 calorie deficit. So it's just not that big of a deal. I guess for me, it's that the structure makes me feel in control. And if you relate to this, I really think those are going to help you. Make a list of non-negotiables, and you could just take mine. Okay, next was my sleep. So I call it the S.A.M sleep rule, S-A.M. So that is the same bedtime. That is so important for me. The same bedtime, the same wake time. Getting consistent with my body feeling tired at this time and starting to wake up whenever the sun comes up. And a lot of times, depending on the time of year, it's actually before the sun comes up, but 5:30 is the time. The A is avoiding late caffeine. Ideally, avoiding almost any caffeine besides right around the workout would be the best place to go, but I haven't gotten to a place where I'm able to do that yet, so I avoid late caffeine. And the M is to minimize screens. And less about blue light. Maybe the blue light is an important thing, so maybe you can get, blue light blocking glasses or whatever. But for me, it was the negativity on social media. It was the things that got me thinking. It was my brain just going hard on those things that I probably don't even ultimately care about, or the next morning I wouldn't even be thinking about anyway. And so just letting myself settle down, that was very important. Getting good sleep just allows you, this is the key thing in my opinion, allows you to make better decisions the next day. Because you're rested, you don't have to fight you don't have to conjure up the willpower to fight a hard decision like I don't want that food or whatever. That food isn't a part of my plan. Should I go to the gym? You feel more rested. You just feel more energy to be able to put towards your goals. I think this one habit really just improves everything else, where you're more willing to food log or monitor your food of some sort. You're more willing to get your steps and your workouts and all that stuff. The third thing that I did is I trained way harder. I didn't see how easy I was taking my training whenever I was resistance training. Now I train on Olympic rings a lot at home, and that's something that I want to start specializing in and actually teaching my clients to do, to allow them, you can go to the gym still, of course, but whether it's that you can't get a workout in that day, or a person wants to work out from home, at least at first, because they feel embarrassed or whatever, I want to really be able to teach that. So I've been working out a lot on Olympic rings. But even before, whenever I was in the gym, I didn't realize how far away from actual muscular failure that I was. I decided to take a set. I can't remember what exercise it was on. It might have just been a bicep curl, because I just wanted something that was easy that I could really push myself on. That wasn't a big movement that I would fail on, like a squat and then have to bail out from under the bar. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was doing the bicep curl. Let's just say it was bicep curl. And on rep like 13 or 14, I was like, normally I would stop here, or I might be able to squeeze out 15. I was able to go all the way to rep 22 or 23. That means I was 8 or 9, maybe more reps shy of failure. And so learning what my body was capable of, the discomfort I was able to push through with good form and good control and no pain on the movements, was pretty shocking. And then I think I started to gain a little bit more muscle. And whenever you're in a calorie deficit and you start gaining muscle because you're pushing harder, or maybe you're just now working out for the first time or getting back into working out, you have an opportunity here, because your body's going to put on that muscle. It is a new stimulus that it is going to build that muscle. And if you're already in a calorie deficit, where do you think that energy to build the muscle comes from? It has to come from your body fat. If you're getting enough sleep and you're getting enough water and you're getting enough protein, then it has to come from your body fat. Your body's going to put on that muscle. I think the workouts having a purpose instead of going through the motions, the hardness of the exercise, helps me to give it a purpose. Like, it is building a stronger version. It's not just going through the motions. So I focused on intensity, not just showing up. And like I said, that took place in the form of reps. For you, it might be your cardio. Instead of going through the motions of just getting, steps, which there's a place for steps. I'm big on that, as you already know. But maybe walking uphill or riding a bike and actually pushing yourself to where you're breathing a little bit heavier. I pushed myself every single set instead of just coasting. That doesn't mean I pushed it to failure. So in my example, I was able to get to rep 22 or 23. It's not like I would do that every single set. But in that case, I increased the weight. And let's say my maximum reps would have been 15. I got to 13 or 14. Whenever the bar speed really starts to slow down. And so that's anything. Even on rings, there is no bars. There's no bar speed. But you are the thing that's moving. So whenever you're pushing up, that last rep should be kind of a grind before you stop, maybe even a rep after that. And that level of discomfort you might not be used to, and you might shock yourself. Go ahead and do the test on yourself with just like a bicep curl or something. Go until you literally can't go anymore. No pain, good control, all that stuff. But go until you literally can't go anymore, and you might surprise yourself with how capable you actually are. So my at-home workouts, I still go with like 100% effort or 98% effort. Just today I was doing, chest and tricep in the garage on the last rep of skull crushers. The rings go behind my head. I almost didn't get out of it. I might have cheated a little bit to get out of it. So that might have been a little bit too close to failure, but my point is that I'm still training hard, and I think the results are still going to be coming because of that.